So I'm gonna start up a freshly installed Nokia Booklet 3G running on I think a Samsung micro SATA 1.8 inch SSD in June 2019. So it's gonna start booting from scratch, and it's pretty slow, honestly speaking. But it's a good machine. The design is fantastic. You know, all this section is made out of metal, aluminum. Does not have a fan. The CPU is really bad. It's Intel Z530 Atom CPU, so you can tell how slow it is. My other computers that runs on Core i5 4310U and 3320M, they boot up probably in 15 seconds. This one takes about, you see, takes about a minute. Only has 1 GB of RAM, so you gotta really plan out the resources you're gonna use on the system to prevent from using too much resources on this tiny machine that is released about 10 years ago, to make sure nothing freezes. It does run Microsoft Office pretty well. Word, Excel, they all run, but you cannot use other apps when you are using these Office. Oh, and the battery life is absolutely fantastic. It's been 10 years, okay? It's been 10 years and the battery still has, right now it's about 430. I've been using this since about 12 o'clock, so it's been running for about 4 hours and 30 minutes and still says it has about 38% remaining. So you're gonna have to manually download if you use the light version, the slim version of the Windows 7, because there's no way you should use the full thinner version of Windows 7, because this thing is just gonna crash. If you use the slim version of the Windows 7, you have to manually install all the drivers, which is gonna take you a couple hours. But once you have installed the touchpad and the Realtek audio driver, as well as the Intel graphics media accelerator driver, I think these 3 drivers are needed. The little machine functions perfectly fine. Dual speakers, one on the left, the other on the right. It's pretty cool, but the sound is just not very good. Let's see. See, the frame is stuck for some reason. This is the actual video, so it was pausing for like 5 seconds. So you can tell that this little machine is indeed barely trying to hold up or running on some of the most rudimentary basic tasks in 2019. And the design is flawless. Oh my gosh, just look at the design. Beautiful A cover. Absolutely beautiful. And when you roll the hinges, the base of the machine does not move. Watch, you see? All the edges are made out of aluminum, pretty high quality. This would have been insane back in 2009, but today, the hardware is just not holding up. It's too old. 1 gig of RAM, so you cannot run more than 1 application at the same time, otherwise you're gonna have to wait. 2 USB drives, 2 USB ports, and 3, and SD card. That's probably the same card. Power buttons right here. It's just a pretty nice little machine. I bought it because I just love Nokia, you know. And you can see all the indicators. It's pretty nice. I mean, the keyboard is incredibly cramped, so when you type on it, it's very painful. If you have a thinner sized hand, you're gonna suffer typing on this dinky little keyboard. Other than that, the system resource is very limited. You can see the RAM is almost taken up completely. Only 1 gig of RAM, so you cannot open any more than one website and one application at the same time. The CPU is really, really, really weak. So I was thinking that maybe I could run Windows 10, but there's no way I can run Windows 10 on this. It's gonna just completely be in the status of coma. But the machine itself looks really nice. It's very sad that it's not upgradable. The RAM is not upgradable. The only thing you can try to do is to change the HDD that came with the machine into SSD. But that's all you can do. The other problem is with the touchpad. It does not support multi-touch. You see? Otherwise, it works pretty well, like pretty sensitive and pretty accurate. But it just wouldn't support multi-touch. When I hit 2 fingers, it just wouldn't respond. But other than that, like if you don't need a multi-touch. You can just use the right clicker. And the keypad works pretty well, and feels a little bit plasticky, but it works. It's fully functional. There's nothing wrong with it. So just use it as maybe. There's not much you can do with it in 2019. Basically, you can watch YouTube videos. Thank God, I can still watch YouTube videos on it. Besides that, you can maybe write some letters or check your email, but it's not gonna give you the most smooth response running on an Intel Atom CPU in June 2019. But it's a good machine. I bought it because I like Nokia. I didn't test out the webcam. Probably it's gonna be disastrous. It's gonna be probably 300,000 pixel, probably 0.3 megapixel. It's just gonna be slow. So basically, you can watch YouTube videos maybe at a cafe outside. You can still bank on the fantastic battery life because the CPU is so weak and it couldn't do much. You can use it maybe occasionally. Probably you can use it to take some notes, but students probably would definitely prefer to have a MacBook when they take this machine to the school. But other than that, just a little probably useless piece of machine that if you go to a cafe or you take it to work, you might be able to use it to check email or something. And overall, I don't think it's a waste of money. Got it for about $80 on eBay. Cleaned it. And it runs pretty well, so no complaints here. Have a good day, guys.